CSF Entertainment.
Yo, 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 and welcome back to TSF Entertainment. This time we are bringing you Raising Kanan episode 10 exclusive picks and predictions. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Episode 10 synopsis says a devastated Kanan furiously searches for answers and revenge. Raq attempts to stave off the collapse of her business as she and Lou prepare for a possible war with Unique. So in this scene right here, we have Akbar and Unique. And I believe right here, this scene is after the meeting with Raq and Lou, as we saw Raq and Lou show up at Unique's tailor shop in the last episode. What that meeting was about, we haven't seen yet, but I feel that that meeting with them talking to Unique was to try to come to some kind of terms to stop an all out possible war. But of course, we know that doesn't happen. And here, I believe that Unique is telling Akbar his plans going forward on how he's going to take down Raq and her business. Here we have Kanan, who looks like he's in the back in his old trap spot, and he's sitting down on the couch with none other than Juke. And I believe here this is where he tells Juke that Snaps and Pop told him that Raq was the one that put down Famous. I also think that Juke will also tell Kanan that she found and confirmed from her contact that Crystal is also unalive, which will now send Kanan into more fury and revenge against Raq as he feels that Raq is behind all of this stuff. But I think Juke once again will tell Kanan that it wasn't Raq, and if it was, to let her work her contact to confirm that if it was Raq or not who is behind the unalive and the famous, as well as the unaliving of Crystal. Here we have Aisha, Juke, and Nakia. And Nakia was their old manager from their group, Butter. Now, this scene seems kind of out of place a little bit, as we have not seen, besides Juke and Aisha, talk about Butter. We haven't seen any inklings or whatnot, especially from seeing Nakia on any of the episodes. But I believe here in this episode right here is where they're discussing the death of Crystal and how it's affecting them. It also could be quite possible that Nakia wanted to try to put the group back together since Butter was having so much success before Jukebox got arrested during their performance. But now, since they hear the news about crystals, that the group will no longer be getting back together. So here we have Phil Russo at his social club in Jersey. Now, it's not too much to go off here in this scene right here, but from the looks of it, it looks like Russo is pissed. And I'm thinking this is a scene here where he finds out about Unique going to war with Raq and destroying her businesses. As Phil stated in the last episode, he knew it was Unique with David taking him out, since David was the one who was going to be the person to move her weight, as well as he told Unique that he was not going to war with Unique because of him. And by Neek starting this war, I can see here that this is quite possible the last time we see Phil Russo, as he's probably going to cut any and all ties he has with Unique, since he does not want to go to war with the New York mob. Here we have Raq and Marvin. And in these scenes, it could be quite possible that they are discussing the upcoming war with Unique. But as the synopsis says, she's trying to figure out a way to keep her business from failing. But in this scene here, I think it's more so Raq will get on Marvin about creating all this drama with Stefano by him doing those side missions, which now they have no work to move, as well as not putting down Early Tyler like she told him, since we know that Early Tyler went to Stefano to tell him that Marvin was the one who put down his cousin. Here we have Kanan at Cafe Vu, and he's speaking to none other than Lou. And I believe Kanan will tell Lou that Raq had something to do with Famous being put down. As we know, he learned that information through snaps and pops, and he wants to know if Lou was the one who helped her, or if he knew all this time that she was behind Famous being put down, the same way he knew about D Wiz and Scrap. I think Lou will try to tell Kanan he had nothing to do with Famous being put down altogether, and will also try to convince him that Raq didn't have anything to do with it as well. Here we have Unique again at his shop. And in this scene, he's telling his troops to get ready for war, as we saw from the episode 10 trailer. Now, we know Unique has been hitting rock spots to take over, but I'm thinking here this is something even more that possibly pushed him over the edge to go to war. In episode 10 trailer, we saw Lou watching Pernessa, so could be quite possible that there was some type of threat made to Pernessa, who ends up telling Unique, and she possibly wants to leave, and because of that, now Unique is going full rage and he's pushing for the war against Raq. Here we have Detective Garcia and Juke. Garcia told Juke in the last episode that Juke owes him since he did the work to find out about Crystal. We also saw him tell Juke that he's going to show up to all of the spots that she hangs out at until he gets what he wants. So he rolls up on her again here at the pizza shop. And I think here is where he's going to be calling in for that favor that she owes him, which I think will be answers as he questions her more about Unique and Detective Howard, as he feels that Unique was the one behind Detective Howard's death. Here we have Raq, who is none other at the diner, and she will be meeting with Juke. Thinking Juke will tell Raq about Crystal as well, could quite possibly ask her about her involvement in the death of Famous. Now, Juke doesn't usually question Raq, but it could be quite possible. But leaning more towards that, Juke will tell her the whole situation about Crystal being unalive, as well as I think Juke will also likely divulge about the stuff that's going on with Kanan and what Kanan has planned. Since in the last episode, Juke told Raq that she needs to be trying to save him. And we all know Juke has been looking out for Kanan since day one. So I believe here again, she's going to give Raq some type of information to help save Kanan. Here is the infamous scene that we have been discussing since the beginning of this season. The infamous scene where Kanan is in the graveyard putting down a seagull rose, which so many people thought was for Famous, thought it was for Mama Joyce, but we all know that it is now for Crystal. Thinking Kanan will feel some type of guiltiness for not protecting Crystal better. But judging by the look on his face, I also believe that he will tell Crystal that he's going to get revenge for any and everybody that had something to do with her death. Here we have Lou, and I believe this scene right here is from the trailer where Raq tells Lou that they need to hit first and they need to hit fast. But we have this scene right here with Raq, and I believe this is the after effect on that entire strategy. Judging by the look on Raq's face, I have a feeling that something didn't go along as planned. And here we have Kanan meeting with a mysterious person. Now, it's led to believe that we're finally getting introduced to the character Breeze, as his face was not shown in the trailer. If this is not Breeze, then we're possibly getting introduced to another new character. But I'm starting to think and believe that this is none other than Breeze that we are now finally getting introduced to as we're rolling into season 5 of RaisingKanan. However, what we do know is that Snaps and Pops set up this meeting for Kanan to meet this person to do business with. So if it's not Breeze, we're getting introduced into another new character this season. And that's it. Y'all let us know what you feel and think down in the chat. Let us know your predictions on those pictures that you just saw.